The first one is measures of central tendency, which, if you'll remember, we've already done this. I don't know why it's called central tendency, but that is that whole mode, median, mean, and range. And those things, if you remember, mode is simply the number that shows up the most. Median is the middle number, and mean is average, and the range is the difference between big and small. And the other word that comes up in this is the word outlier. An outlier is simply what? Anybody?
Something that's way outside compared to everyone else.
It's way outside the norm. And usually, when you look at data, you don't include the outliers. Just like if you were taking a test, if there's one person, you gave a test and one person just guessed at all the answers and literally got a 0%. You know, when you're figuring out class averages, that 0% would just throw everything way out of whack, and it doesn't. So you don't usually, you just get rid of it because it's not, you know, it's going to throw your numbers off and everything's going to be all goofy. Do I have to do one of these? I don't really want to do one. Maybe let's do this one here. Write down this. Here are the, well, let's do one. Gosh darn it. Let's say you've got 46, 33, 25, 21, 38, 25, 30, 15, and 28. For the mode and the median, you definitely have to organize these things, which means you got to make them big to small. And it's up to you. You can either make a line plot or just number them out. It doesn't really matter. But here, if I was doing this, I would end up doing what? What goes first? We got 15, 21, 2 25s. I usually end up missing one of these. 20, is that an 8? 28, 30, 33, 38, and 46. So obviously the most is the easiest one to figure out. What number happens here the most? 25s. Feel free to jump in there. The median, that is one where some people kind of get mixed up here. How many numbers do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the middle of 9 is
5.
Yeah, you want an odd number because in an odd number you have the same amount on one side as the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What if it's an even number? If it's an even number, you have to take the average of the two middle numbers. You know, if there would have been a 10th number here, I would have had to find the average of those two numbers. But they're the same. What?
But they're the same.
That's it. Then it would be the average. Then it would be that number. It's a good call. I'm not going to do the average and the range. You just subtract 46 minus the smallest number, and you get 31. Good enough. Enough of that. You've done that since the 6th grade, I think. And then under linear equations, it's funny, how many of you, or any of you, who of you are in the Scholastic Bowl? Because Mrs. Nyer just said something about point slope forms of linear equations, which actually comes up here, but not in this one. What is a linear equation? You have different ways to show it. We've got what we call the standard form. We've got what's called slope-intercept form. And The other one is called point slope form. Just so you know, there's going to be 3 different ones. We're not going to talk about this one today. But slope-intercept form, do you remember what the generic form of slope-intercept form is?
Y equals mx.
Y equals mx plus b, where the letter m is the slope and the b is what we call the y-intercept. How about standard form? Anybody remember what that is?
X plus y equals blah blah blah.
Nope, nope, and nope. Standard form is this. It is ax plus by equals c. The difference between these 2 forms, really, is that in this one, the x and y are on the same side, and they equal some number. In this one, you have y, the equation is solved for y. Everything else is on the other side. You really can't, from this one here, if you remember, if you saw something in this form, let's say it was 2x plus 3y equals 6, that would be in standard form. Do you remember how you solved those or graphed those?
Cover up the opposite.
Yeah. We solved this by x and y intercepts. And that was where Tyler said, yeah, you cover up this, crosses the y-axis at 2, cover up this, covers the x-axis at 3. We did that last year. This, though, is what we're doing more today of. If y equals negative 1/2 x minus 2, you should be able to throw down the graph of that without a whole lot of trouble. Because Carter Westfall would be the first thing I do if I'm graphing this.
You would.
Abram Savage, what's the first thing I would do if I'm graphing this equation in slope-intercept form? Where would I put a dot y and where?
Do the negative 1/2.
I would not do the negative 1/2 first. So you're left with the only other option, which is, yeah, you take this first. This is where it crosses the y-axis. This is your starting point because you can put that dot down. You know at where y is negative 2, there's a point. Once you get that, Parker, then you
Do the negative, do the fraction.
do the slope.
Yes.
And remember, the top number of slope is the up number, the bottom number is the over number, and you must know that this is a negative slope, so it has to go downhill. That's negative slope. So you go up 1 over 2, it's either going to go this way or over 2 this way. You have your choice. Carter, which one's it going to go to? I need negative slope.
The left side.
It's got to be this one, so it goes downhill. Is that what you were Parker? You seem to be going to that side. So this, that's a negative slope because it goes downhill, as if you are downhill skiing. You want negative slope because gravity will pull you there. Oof, am I going to stop there or am I going to keep going?
We're gonna keep going.
Oh, yeah, no. Well, we'll write this down here. X minus 4y minus 20 equals 0. X minus 4y minus 20 equals 0. Yep. What form is this in? No form. So you need to make it. How do you get it in slope-intercept form?
Get down.
Yeah, you do. Just need to solve for y.
How do you do it?
Solve for y. How am I going to solve for y? Altenberg, if I'm solving this for y, what do I have to do? What would I get rid of first?
Add the 20.
Yep, I need to add 20 to the other side. So now it looks like this, x minus 4y equals 20. Then I would do what?
Subtract the x over.
Move the x over by subtracting it. So now I have negative 4y equals negative x plus 20. Then my last step would be to
Divide by negative 4.
okay, you want to get rid of this in front of the y, so you divide by negative 4. Watch how beautifully this works. Divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. At the back you get a negative 5. What does this turn into right here? Negative x divided by negative 4 is,
Positive.
2 negatives make it positive. And what's it become? Positive 1/4 x. You want a fraction in front of the x. This would be a 1 in front of that.
Oh.
So it's 1/4 x. You don't want to put x over 4 because that doesn't really fit into our scheme of things, even though that's the same thing. Just remember, if you have this, x over 7, that's the same thing as 1/7 x. You have 5x over 3, that's the same thing as 5/3 x. Now you can't do that if x is on the bottom, by the way. If you have 5 over 3x, it don't work that way. The x has to be on top.
What if it is in the bottom? Is there any way you could solve it?
You'd have to multiply everything by 3x and get it to the other side. But that would be it. So then you can graph this. It's pretty simple to do, I would think. This page should have it. And then I guess we have to stop here. You then also need to be able to just look at a line and give its slope-intercept form. If I asked you for the equation of that line in slope-intercept form, you would say y equals what? First of all, where's it across the y-axis?
Positive 3.
Got 3, so you know that's going to be a 3. Then you just need to figure out what the slope of it is and put it in front of x. Going downhill, right, Westfall?
Yes.
So it's minus.
Negative.
Make your little triangle out of it. How high is the triangle 2? How far over is it 1? So it's negative 2x plus 3. This, ladies and gentlemen,